but I can't figure out how it works. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the start of another weekly reading vlog. Last week I picked my project, I worked a little bit on the magic system, and my next goal was to tackle the structure of the secret government agency that features prominently in this story. Unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit shorter of a vlog because it's already Monday. I had a really busy end of the week and weekend. With Mother's Day and dinner with my family, and then I was suffering a migraine. Anyway, it was not conducive for writing or reading, but that's for another video. And so here I am, Monday, I've finally gotten back to work, and I am making progress on that secret government agency like I talked about. And it made me realize that the minimum amount of thought I had put into it when I started drafting this project previously was never gonna cut it. I was treating this secret government agency more like a secret business with a kind of very linear power structure. And my very first step today was to just take a look at some of the other departments that the federal government runs, and just see a little bit of that kind of structure. And just for I first looked at the Department of Justice, and yes, there is a central person at the top, and there's, a deputy down below, but there's a lot of shit going on down here in the organization chart. And so it made me realize that part of my problem with when I draft is that if it is not directly relevant to the story, it doesn't exist in my mind. That's part of the reason why I'm so bad at description, and part of the reason I just my first drafts often feel like just empty spaces and just floating heads having conversations, because for me, conversation is what moves the plot along. But that also I'm not thinking about anything else outside of what's directly relevant. And so in the first draft, these characters were taking a direct path to the top of this structure, and that really doesn't make sense. So it's given me some ideas of how to reevaluate my thinking and how I want the character dynamics to be, and who is where, and who has the power, and who is just a more minor player. And so that's been really eye-opening. And again, just goes to show me the reasons why I do this, and I don't neglect it, because when I neglect it, it turns into just this very linear railroad path to plot beat. So this is already really, really helpful, and that's kind of where I left it. Unfortunately, I've got so much going on right now. School is back, my next term started, and these two classes that I am taking this 8 weeks are a lot more intense than any of the previous classes I've taken before, and the fact that they're being taken together is really straining my reserves of energy and also my reserves of free time. But because I got such a late start on this vlog, I'm going to focus a lot on writing this week, and I'll try and get some reading done and some other stuff done around that. But today was really good. I'm going to probably be working on this government agency thing for the rest of this week, figuring out something that's really funny. The one thing I struggle with the most when it comes to the details of things is names. I suck at coming up with names. I always end up picking a theme and naming everything after that, because it's just easier for me than just coming up with a name. It's awful. And so it ends up feeling kind of cheesy even to me, but it's just the first draft. It does not have to be, mind-blowing. It can be a little bit cheesy. No one's name, other than 3 of the main characters, 4 maybe, are locked in. And only one of those are on theme. But also I'm trying to name each different office inside this umbrella department. And that's been a real struggle. But my goal is, so I've come up with 4 different offices, 4 different goals and what they do. And so now what my project is for this week, my mini project, is to kind of write out a list for each of these departments, who staffs it, or like what kind of people staff it, what their goal is, what they do, what they provide, what sort of service, like why are they part of this department and not, something else, or why is it necessary for this particular government agency to have an office like this. So I started 2 of them, and I think these are going to be things that fill out as they come up. Like, I'm not going to be able to just sit there and spend an hour and think of everything that they do. They're going to be things where, as it occurs to me, I'll add it to the list. And then just like names of department heads and heads of these offices, and like who is going to be like the direct contact for this main character who's coming into this world brand new. Those are the kinds of things that I'm going to be figuring out this week. And hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have enough material where I'll feel comfortable moving on. I still don't have a name for my magic users. I've written out a list, but I don't love any of them. There's one, the only one that I really liked, because it's in universe, like relevant, like it's hard to explain, but it's a word that's related to the word I am using for like why there is magic in the world as a whole. But again, that just feels, it's a kind of a mouthful, and it doesn't pack the punch that I'm hoping that, or that it's something that's going to be used a lot, so it needs to feel natural, and it does not feel natural. So we're still really struggling with that. I've just gone ahead and Googled words for magic users, and they just all feel so secondary world. But I'm going to have to come up with one. I'm going to have to decide with one, even if it's not one I am in love with to begin with, even if it just ends up being a placeholder until something stronger hits me. It may just end up being like that for now. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to work on the rest of this agency for the rest of this week. And then I think once that is locked in, I'm going to start doing deep dives on my main characters. But that is a task for future Carrie. Today, I've done some really good work developing this government agency, gotten some ideas, even again, thoughts and ideas and connections and plots for future books, not even things that necessarily need to appear in this one. So again, proving why all of this is necessary and good and productive. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I will check in with you guys tomorrow, hopefully when I have gotten a little bit more figured out for that agency, got some names of offices and all of that, and who knows, maybe I'll get a bolt from the blue and figure out what I want to call my spellcasters. We'll just have to see, and I will see you then. Good night. Hello everyone. It is now Tuesday evening, and I have done a little bit more work on my secret government agency. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but I have a really cute acronym for it, and it spells out sort of the door. So I will just call it that from now on, but the door is the secret government agency. I'm not going to tell you what it actually is, but so I've done some more thought and preparation and work on that, and I came to the realization today that one of the branches of this department I feel like is really important, but I can't figure out how it works. It's basically just how this secret government agency that focuses on magic keeps track of magic users. I haven't been able to, I had an idea that I had just kind of tucked away and think, oh, well, this is how they do it. I didn't actually have to think about the actual molecular level of things and how it actually worked until I started working on it today. And then I started to realize, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. How does that work? And I wrote down a bunch of questions that I need to ponder more deeply and see if that is, see if I can come up with a solution. But the more I think about it, the more I think that just because this is a secret government agency that is staffed entirely by magic users and is focusing on magic doesn't necessarily mean that this part has to be magic too. Surely there's mundane ways to keep track of magic users. We keep track of each other all the time. I'll have to think about that. That thought just occurred to me as I was sitting down. But yeah, this is another thing that just goes to show you that if I had gotten into, for some reason, I had approached this subject in the middle of the draft, I'd be panicking because I don't actually know the answer. And that is the kind of thing that will stall me in a draft, that will completely just pull me up, and I won't be able to proceed until I know the answer. So again, going to show myself how important this preparatory and really deep thinking and world building phase is because whether I like it or not, these are questions are going to come up, even if they don't have a direct impact on the story. So that was really, really fascinating. I'm going to sleep on it like I do, and see if I can come up with like answers to these questions I posed myself. But yeah, it was another good day, in terms of like progress. So I guess tomorrow I'll just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. But yeah, just a short update today. Again, really productive questions, really productive thought processes. It's just a matter of getting those answers for myself now. So I'll check in with you tomorrow. I've got a busy one going on, but I hope to get some at least thinky thoughts written down, and we'll go from there. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey y'all, checking in with my final writing update of this vlog, and I'm sad to say that I've hit my first roadblock. I have spent some time thinking about two questions. One is the name of my spellcasters, and one is the function of this particular section of the secret government agency, specifically regarding keeping tabs on magic users and how that would work with the magic system I have been developing. And while I did come up with answers to both of those questions today, it wasn't really like an aha moment. It's more like settling for choices that I had come up with as I was brainstorming, and neither of them feel like I don't feel super great about either of them. They just don't feel correct. They didn't click immediately. It was just like, well, I can't think of anything better, so this is what we're going to go with. But I'm not going to spend any more time on it right now. I have spent all week, well, you know, all the days that I've been writing, trying to answer these questions and thinking hard about these things and not really coming up with a lot of solutions. And I think it's just time to walk away from it for right now. I don't need to, I mean, I'm still in the preparation phase, so it's not like this needs an answer right this moment. I think I probably do need one before I start drafting, but there's still so much more to go that I've got time. And maybe if I move on and get into some other areas of the world building, it'll come to me. So I'm going to do a little bit more development on the rest of that secret government agency, just kind of slotting in roles and duties and tasks and, you know, that sort of thing into these other sections. I would say I'm about 75% done with that. So I'll probably work on that a little bit tomorrow. And then hopefully over the weekend, I am child free this weekend. So hopefully I will have time to get started finally on diving deeper into my cast. That is what you guys can expect for next week's vlog. This one, again, I know it was short. I had a really tough weekend with family obligations and just unexpected illness. And, you know, I had a migraine on Saturday. It was just a big mess where it just wasn't working out for me. But this weekend, I hope to be more productive, and this next week, the whole week, in fact, to be more productive for writing. But thank you so much for watching. My first reading vlog last week was an unexpected hit for me, and it was just made me feel so good that you guys are coming along with me on this journey. So I so appreciate y'all watching. I so appreciate everyone's support. It really, truly does mean the world to know that you guys are out there. So thank you so much. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. It is so appreciated. I also have my Ko-Fi in the description below if you want to support me in that way. And as always, I will see you in the next video. I hope you look forward to it, and I will see you then.